Outside the Box Reviews, we are taking a look at the NECA Aliens Wave 9 Private Ricco Frost figure. I think Frost was an interesting choice for NECA to go with for a Marine to release in the line. I don't feel like Frost is a particularly iconic character. To me, seeing the ones they've gone through so far, I think Apone would be the one I want most next after what we've gotten. Maybe Gorman, him or Drake. Though I know they do have to base which figures they can do off of who's willing to give them their likeness rights. But Frost definitely wasn't one I was expecting to get. That's not a bad thing. Frost is using the standard Marine body. I think this is more or less the body we got with Sergeant Windrix, particularly with the long sleeves. But there are a couple unique bits going on with this figure that I thought were very interesting. So let's go ahead and take a look at them. Frost comes with an accessory we've seen before. As I already mentioned, Sergeant Windrix. We get the flamethrower. Same sculpt that we got with Windrix. It's a nice little handle back here. Nice detailing with the olive green and black. The canister here on the bottom, which I thought popped off on Windrix's version, but I don't want to pull it too hard and break it on this. Really nicely done. We have the little pilot light down there at the bottom and the nozzle up there at the top. Overall, well sculpted. But there's a serious problem that you may have seen at the beginning of this video. Not to skip ahead to articulation, but the articulation in the hand of Frost, and I guess all the Marines, is a hinge that goes side to side like this, and not one that goes up and down that would allow aiming of weapons. That's a problem when Frost holds the flamethrower at a downward angle, and you can only really ever get him shooting flames down. That's kind of a pain in the butt. I wish they would have given him a true ball joint there at the wrist so that we could actually aim this weapon. Or at least resculpt the hand in a way where we would hold it straight. Seems to be a growing problem with NECA lately. Their Terminator Genesis figures had this issue as well. And it's just obnoxious when you want to pose a figure in a cool action pose and their hands won't allow it. For a unique accessory, Frost does come with a handgun. I think it's the first handgun we've had in this line. It's just plain old black plastic, but there's some really nice detail going on here. Actually, there is a little bit of silver there at the top for the sight, so it's a really well designed little gun. Frost does have a holster here on his side that the gun will slide right into, and then you can close the little flap on there for easy storage. He also comes with his satchel, the nice term for a man purse. Whatever this is that Frost has, a little carrying case. It has soft rubberized straps here at the top. The rest of it's hard plastic. There's nice sculpted wrinkles in it, little seams and latches and side pockets. Pretty nicely done. And this is what he used to collect everybody's magazines in the alien hive. And then, for the first time, or as an accessory, it's awesome that it's an accessory, we get Frost's helmet. Instead of having an alternate head, or actually an alternate figure like Hicks and Hudson had, we get a very similar secondary helmet. I guess it's basically the same helmet we got with Newt. It has a lighter kind of camo up here to match what Frost's uniform looks like. We have the camera here on the side, flap here in the back that kind of has the darker camouflage that we see on most other Marines. The headset here on the other side. We have the chin strap, which you can actually hook together if you're patient enough. But I've had a hard time getting it to latch on his head, or latch before putting it on its head and then stay together. It's just kind of really touchy, and the slightest move pops it apart. So it's a little difficult, but very cool that we got this. And you can see inside there's kind of a molded section that's molded to his hair. So that's kind of the separate piece, different from what we got with Newt. She had her own hair mold in there, but that's a really good way to get these to pop on individual figures, and it's kind of a shame the re-releases of the Hudson and Hicks aren't going to get this technology. I think they did a pretty good job on Frost's sculpt here. The likeness looks pretty darn good. The details on his face are nice and clean. The hair is well done. Not really any color variance in it, but some nice texture to it. On the back here, we have the standard little light kit that goes up over the shoulder, and as usual, that will pop off. Once again, it's a pain to actually get it to peg in here on the back, but once you get it in there, it stays in pretty well, which is nice. As with most Marines, there's kind of personalized armor. So here we get, I think that's Africa with a face over top of it is what it looks like. And we get a quote there on the back, which is a little broken up by the sculpt of the armor itself, so I can't really read that third line there. But the armor is a softer rubberized piece over top of the sculpt of the rest of the figure. Coming around to the front, we have a shoulder pad, also has a little extra piece on there, a customized piece. You can see all the buckles here on the front. Actually, these shoulder plates, I think, come up a little higher than the standard Marine armor. I don't have another Marine handy at the moment, so I can't be 100% sure, but they actually do look like they might be a little bulkier than what we've got in the past. We have some grenades here on the straps going down his chest, and some other equipment going there around his waist. This is actually kind of a separate bandolier that hangs down, and the armor's underneath it. You can see the straps here on the side with the buckles and the rivets. We have his name there on the front. We have the heart with Heath written in it with an arrow going through it there. As I mentioned before, similar to Windrix, we have the long sleeves here on Frost. A little patch or a pocket up here at the top of the arm. There's nice wrinkles going down and it gets tighter around the wrist. His bare hands. His right hand is set up with a trigger finger and then a gripping one on his left. This extra strap going around Frost also has his pistol holster, which has a nice quilted pattern to it. And then we do get a couple little pouches here in the back. We get the standard lower torso armor, which is a nice soft rubberized piece over top of the diaper. We get the cargo pants sculpted in here, all the pockets, a lot of wrinkles in here. And the shin armor, looking very cool. And then his standard boots with a lot of nice detail on them as well, including treads on the bottom and peg holes. For articulation, Frost has a ball joint at the base of his head, so you can look pretty far up, pretty far down, side to side, as well as tilt. Pin socket shoulders will go forward, back, as well as out to the side. He has a single joint elbow that bends about 45 degrees and will also rotate. As I already mentioned, the hands will swivel at the wrist as well as hinge in and out, but not up and down to help aim. Get a mid-torso ball joint, go pretty far forward and back, rotate side to side as well as tilt. It is a little limited because of all the stuff he has around his waist, all the sculpted bits, but you can get him to move pretty darn well. The legs are on pinned socket joints, they'll kick forward, back, as well as go out to the side. You can also rotate the upper leg, a double jointed knee, a ball joint at the ankle, and then a hinge here at the toe. Because Frost has a really hard time holding the flamethrower, this is my preferred pose for him, using the handgun instead. And since it's a unique accessory to him, at least at this point, I feel justified in posing him like this. Frost may not be the Marine that's highest on your list to pick up. He's not really a super major character in the film, though he's not an incredibly minor character either. It's not like he's a Wierzbowski or a Dietrich or something. But I don't know. I'm going to give him a recommend, but it's a pretty weak recommend. He's got good things going for him, but he's also just kind of more of the same that we've gotten with a lot of the other figures in this line, which isn't necessarily fair because you kind of need to judge everything on its own merits, but come on, if you guys have been collecting this as long as I have, you've seen a lot of this before. So at some point you do get a little tired of the same old Marine again. And that's why Vasquez was a great figure, because she was unique, a very unique body type for the figure, a unique weapon to some degree, and it made it feel special. This is just another character using a lot of the same parts. But still, I recommend. I believe the next wave of NECA alien figures is going to be a Kenner tribute wave, and unlike Predator, where I kind of dread that happening every time it comes up, really looking forward to this. We're getting the Mantis alien and the Gorilla alien, and I think something else that I can't remember offhand. I think it might be the giant face hugger, but I actually have a lot of nostalgia for those old Kenner aliens toys, so I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on those and seeing how good they are. Make sure you follow me on Facebook, link below. Also check me out on Instagram, username Outside the Box Reviews. And until next time, so Outside the Box Reviews, game over, man! Game over!